Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
That was right funky wee number there, Gerry.
I think perhaps that is the right thing to say. It's a right funky wee number.
Was that Ulster Scots that boy was singing that on there?
No, it's one of the African dialects. Sounds remarkably similar.
It does, it reminds you of somebody from up above Sternocum or somewhere like that there.
Indeed, yes, somewhere east of the ban.
Aye.
I have to say. I pinpointed it right away somewhere perhaps, I think Kilruts.
Kilruts, they talk like that around Kilruts, so surely.
And I'm told that I'm popping. I apologise for any popping that I may be popping here. Sorry, what can we do for you today? I can tell that you're a man who's of the Ulster Scots tradition and proud of it. I hope so.
No, I wouldn't be, Gerry, but not that far. I just over the Bond Bridge there now. If I was over the Bond Bridge, I would be fit to talk it, but I can't. Not on the wrong side of the band for it, Gerry.
Many of us don't have the smattering of language that's required to be Ulster Scots native speakers. I haven't learnt the 5 or 6 words yet.
Well, Gerry, I was on your show there when a month ago there, and I was telling about me being abducted by aliens.
I remember that, and I often wondered what became of you.
Well, I got a wee bit of stardom then after that, Gerry, from on the show and all, but I was only with what your son's talking to you about that there, and you telling me to watch myself.
Let me remind the listeners, you were abducted by aliens and prodded.
Probed, that's right, Gerry.
Yeah, we don't want to hear any details about that. But
I'll not go into any further.
It's worse than being it's worse than being tagged.
It is, Gerry. Well, Gerry, it's happened again.
Really? Go ahead.
Gerry. I was down in the bottom field there the other night there, I was giving the cows a lack, and the next thing, these 3 boys appeared behind me, the 3 extraterresticals.
I see. That'll be extraterrestrials.
Extraterresticals, that's
yes.
right.
Okay.
And they says to me, do you remember there, when a month ago, Gerry, there's meteorites come down there, people were sending around the Glen Sheehan?
That's right.
Well, Gerry, it wasn't meteorites, it was these extraterrestrials craft.
Extraterrestrials craft, okay. And did they say, do you remember a few weeks ago they said that people thought they were extraterrestrial? Did they say that to you?
That's right.
Okay.
They did.
All right. Well, what kind of an accent did they have? Did they speak English pretty well?
They were talking to me, Gerry, through Teloquisky.
Oh, I
you know
see.
that where they're fit to talk to me. They weren't opening their mouths or nothing, but they were talking in exactly the same accents as me, Gerry, and I was fit to understand them and all, you know what I mean? It was just as if they were talking straight onto my head, Gerry.
Well, that's a breakthrough for someone from another solar system.
These boys have been about, Gerry.
I would imagine they have. What did they look like?
Well, Gerry, you're going to find this funny. They look like a set of bagpipes. The big things, tentacles and things hanging out of them.
That's right. Well,
they're strange-looking boys now.
But did they have can I ask you? No, I need more detail. Did they have a chanter?
No, there's no chanter, Gerry. They had the bags and the bellows and all that there. That's what they're like. There's no tartan or nothing on them.
All dressed and nowhere to go. All dressed up and nowhere to go.
And they heard me on your show, you see, Gerry. They've been studying us now for a long time.
Yeah.
And I actually was abducted 20 years ago, and I said to them, I felt a bit stupid when I says to them, I says, boys, do you remember me from before? Gerry, somebody would say to you there, Gerry, oh, I met you there one night up in the Hilton or somewhere, and you'd be polite and you'd say, oh, I remember that.
I'd say yes, I remember I was prodded before, yes.
But really and truly, you don't remember, Gerry, No,
you'd try and pass yourself by pretending to remember.
So I says to these boys, boys, remember before you had me up in that spacecraft and you probed me? And they says, oh, hi, Gerry, or Phonsie, remember that there because that was only 20 minutes ago.
You see? They have a different...
said, no, it was 20 years ago. And he says, no, but that in our time, that was 20 minutes ago. He says, we're here now an hour and a half.
Which is basically 900 years.
That's right, Gerry.
Uh-huh.
And they're studying us, Gerry. But anyway, they says to me, they heard me in the Gerry show, and they says they heard I'd done a bit of mechanicing.
Yeah.
And they're wondering if I could come up and take a look at this yoke because she wasn't flying again, Gerry.
Indeed, yeah, not going the best.
So
maybe you should bring up a diagonal steam trap in case you might need it.
Well, they took me up and I had a look at her anyway, Gerry, and there's a wee hole inside her. I got them then to take me down to Artie's, a boy down the road that sells parts and stuff.
Yes.
And I got a ton of eyes upon, and I come up and by God, Gerry, I slapped it on there and got her going,
And she better needed a bit of a teacut then.
No, she was grand just with eyes upon.
Just the eyes upon, no teacut required.
No teacut was required. So it says, you want to go for a skate here, Gerry, or Phonsie, to see how she's going?
That'll be an intergalactical word, skate.
I says, well, surely, I says, you can take her on into Dungiven there to see what... And they laughed at me, Gerry. They says, oh, no, Phonsie. They says, we'll need to get this thing up to the right speed. We'll take you a bit further than that. And they says to me, have you ever been to Australia, Phonsie?
Yes.
I know, haven't I?
Right.
Knocked out, and there we were, hovering over Sydney Harbour Bridge, Gerry. It was unbelievable.
Well, you know...
And it was just in a matter of seconds, Gerry. You know,
yes, I hear that. I hear you saying this. And but I have to say that, you know, some of it sounds a little far-fetched.
Well, Gerry, I know it might be a bit hard for some of your listeners to comprehend, but some of the things they told me, Gerry, wouldn't even be for your listeners. You know, they wouldn't be fit to understand.
Well, is there anything that you can reveal to us? Any great truths or anything? Or anything that maybe perhaps would make our lives better? Can you reveal anything that they've revealed to you?
Well, they told me that our planet, Gerry, is the size of a very small bubble in the largest ocean that we have.
I've always thought that, but, you know, nobody would ever believe me.
And they said that's the size of that's the universe. They said they've travelled it. But they did tell me one thing. They said, right, of all the places they've travelled out in the universe, we are the most stupid people they've ever met.
Did they mention Hugo at all?
They mentioned Hugo. They said they reckon he's not from this planet.
I always thought that, and I've often said that to Hugo, but he just laughed and had another can of iron bow.
But Gerry, I phoned Mary, you see. I says, Mary, you think I'm down the bottom field here looking at these cows?
Yeah.
But in fact, I'm sitting hovering over the Sydney Harbour Bridge here. She laughed at me, Gerry.
She would. That would ruin her afternoon. It would ruin her sense of certainty.
Phonsie, hurry up now. She says, I have a pot of spud boiling here. Come on up. And Gerry, them boys had me home, and I landed onto the back door. And I was home that quick. Mary was still on the phone talking to me in Australia.
That's what I call quick.
I'm telling you, Gerry, it's fast now. Now, there's a lot of things they told me that wouldn't be, your listeners wouldn't be ready for it yet, Gerry, you know.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will let you to try and... I'll give you some time to digest the things they've told you. And maybe perhaps you could maybe reform them in a more palatable way, and maybe you could indicate to us at some other date what they said to you, because there may be some truth there that would make our lives better. You know, for instance, they might have said something like, why can't you all learn to live together?
Well, Gerry, what do you hear? This is to me, they've been studying this now for a long time, and this is the most stupidest thing they think is that we've been putting that much time and devotion into the combustion engine and using up all the oil and stuff in the world. And they can't believe it. They think it's a stupid thing. They travel about using just the energy that surrounds them, Gerry, you know. Yes,
I can see the advantages of that.
They said they're spending all that much money on wars and stuff that we're going to burn up the planet. And I mean, they're talking years here now.
Make tea, not war. Yeah.
They said they have about another 20 minutes left here. Now, 20 minutes in our time is 20, or sorry, in their time is 20 years in our time. You know what I mean, Gerry?
Right, yeah.
But they reckon another 20 minutes will do it because they said there's nothing really they can find out from us, you know.
Okay, well, it is now 20 minutes past 11, so by 20 minutes to 12, the world will have ended. Listen, thank you very much indeed for that. Maybe you'll come back to us again.
Gerry, there's one thing that I found out that they're very, very similar to us with.
What's that?
They got into the spacecraft after leaving me off, and the way they went, Gerry, and never even asked me how much it was costing, you know what I mean? I fixed that craft for them. And they never even asked me how much the antenna upon was or nothing, you know what I mean, Gerry?
But it was your fault for not giving them an estimate.
I should have given them a price, Gerry, and then they're away, no address or nothing. I can't even get them out a bill, you know.
Go away. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. I can only take so much fantasy in the one day. You have to give an extraterrestrial an estimate.